Okay. Hello everyone. Welcome to Future Fighters Cast, Season 3 technically. Uh, Today we will be talking a lot about the new tag team format that kind of just popped out of nowhere in the anime and now everyone's confused.
Mm.
So today I have two guests. We have the Bit is how it's said. Am I correct?
You can call me Dobbs, so that will be fine.
Okay, fair enough. And we also have, as nearly always, Mr. Konikoff.
Hi.
So
What
yeah,
up?
we don't have too much to work off because bushiroad is leaving us in the dark for this,
Yeah.
for the most part. Or well, okay, they're more like they're just letting us make up whatever we want. For those who
Yeah.
don't
Yes,
know, we have received an email about this thing. So let me just read over it.
yeah,
So you sent an email and we got a reply,
yeah. I sent an
and
email.
it's
Yeah,
yeah, I'm gonna read over it. Dear Sir, Madam, yep. Thank you for your support and your email. With regards to your query, there are currently no plans to release official rulings on Tag Battle. Please do refer to the Future Car Buddy Fight 100 Animation Episode 42 for the detailed fight. Please do not hesitate to contact us if you have any other inquiries.
They couldn't even do like the Vanguard thing where they had that small arc that was all tag fight, so we at least had like a good 5 episodes of explanations.
yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
even they
Uh,
released proper rules because they wanted that format to actually do something with, but it seems like Bushiroad doesn't want Buddy Fight to be really doing this too much.
Mhm.
yeah,
Unless
Or
they're
maybe
like
we'll
they,
have more battles because considering this is an arc where several of the characters are kind of isolated together.
oh yeah.
and they
Well,
should, and they should. Yeah, you can continue.
I was just like, oh, do we know any other characters that are in a group of two at the moment that are in that underground cavern?
Ryuga and Kiri.
Oh, to care, are they together? Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's kind of it.
Yeah.
There's a good chance that means yeah, the Dungeon Danger might be a good another tag team format where we see where two former Dungeon Danger player face off against other players. That would be a good one, but. The thing being means currently, as as Blake has already said about my email to Bushiroad, so we don't really have any vague idea because the episode just gives us a screenshots and we just have to make rulings. And on top of that, Buddy Fight has lots of broken cards which can take advantage of those rulings.
Mhm. Yeah, literally, all we have is what was from the episode and any assumption we could have made that I've posted on the official rules Google Doc that we made.
Yeah.
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 It is worthy to note that sometimes Bushiroad's support staff is kind of odd, in which not everyone's on the same page, especially
Yes.
considering in different countries. So it's not 100% confirmed that they don't have official detailed rulings planned, but
Hmm.
it seems that that is the case now, and that's what we're going to end up talking about
Yeah.
probably for
Yeah,
this.
because when I checked the email, that time it showed that in the blind carbon copy, the Japan address and the America address, email address were carbon copied. So practically, it is essentially an approved version from all
Mm.
three perspective.
Yeah, it's just going off the past where the support staff has been wrong and also like misinformed in just general, and then they'll like the actual game and rules and that will change it up a little bit, despite the email
Ye-
saying something completely different.
Yeah,
So it's just worth noting that it's
mm,
but we should probably go off what this email is for now.
yeah,
Uh, so for those who don't know, uh, there is like a tag team format for Buddy Fight that was announced a few days ago in the latest episode of the anime. New episode out tomorrow. So uh, with that all, it came up with several interesting points. For one, they continue to keep the players separate for the most part. So separate life totals, separate turns. So it's not taking over Magic's two-headed giant format.
Yeah.
If one player in a team dies, the other player is then left alone to continue the rest of the fight.
Yeah.
Some interesting things about set spells engage, which are a little confusing and vague on the episode, but we know that at least set spells are transferred upon death. We are unsure if they are always shared.
Yeah. For the time being, we're just going to assume, yeah, because that's what Vanguard did.
Some people have been assuming, and this will probably require testing on the fans' part, but mostly it's been set spells transfer between the players. But also, an interesting thing that some players have come up with is the one sets per field has applied to both players.
Which I don't think so, because both fields are separate. So then, in my opinion, both teammates should have that one set. Both have that one set rule applied separately.
Yes, but yeah, that's what means. I was also thinking means like when I emailed, I also emailed about Dragon Iron ruling about Dragon Throne, because Dragon Throne increases your size limit. So even if you die, so when the player dies, that's the issue.
It's less of Dragon Throne increases your size limit, but it's more just sets your size limit. It's not increase it by 1, it's set to 4.
Yeah, and then means the thing I discussed with Blake about the broken stuff of having a Dragonite player playing with 100 demons player against a Dragon World users, Dragon users. So if for example a Dragon Iron player has played 3 guillotine and his 100 demon partners also played 3 guillotine. So because means and the opponents have dragons, so as soon as they play dragons, they get hit for 6 damage because of the dragon attribute Thunderbind.
Oh, the stream isn't going on my end. That's a little weird.
Yeah.
Okay.
It'll be going once you end the stream, because I had that same thing encounter me when I did a live stream last Wednesday. Where the first thing
about this.
Yeah, well, because the live stream wasn't going on, but we had it live, and then when we did a retake, about 5 minutes later after we canceled the first one, then that 3 minutes of footage we had on the first one did upload.
Yeah, this is a little weird. So looks like we won't have stuff because stream status okay, 720p, analytics great. No, it's really alive.
Because because we cannot do a question answer stuff because no one is seeing it.
Yeah, weird.
Yeah, it's just weird.
Well, that's not meant to happen, but we'll have to roll with it then. Damn it, stream issues. Google, get your shit fixed.
Like the broken stuff I've been thinking about is just if 2 people are playing Dragon World, or both players are playing Armor Dragons in some fashion.
Yeah.
Which does lead to another thing. A lot of people have been thinking of, including myself, have been thinking of always having the teammates use separate worlds or separate flags. At least.
I mean, yeah, like I can see that, but it's like
But still, it does not really prevent you from. For example, you can use a Star Dragon world, and you can also with a Danger World person, and if the soul is shared, for example, then the soul can be abused between the weapon and or the hero world as well, the hero world and Danger World, where the item soul can be abused.
Oh yeah, that stupid Armonite Drake Ace thing.
Yeah, not only Ace, it's just like Kaiser Leon as well, which will directly get criticals.
I mean, I don't know.
Uh,
Yeah, no.
there has been some confusion about the drop zone. We are unsure if the drop zone is shared or not. I'm willing to believe that the drop zones are separate per player.
The only thing to me that's shared are gauge and sets. That's my only thing that I think is ever shared.
Mm.
Yeah.
And I'm willing to go with that too.
Yeah.
Uh,
So yeah,
some people are thinking otherwise, but there's nothing in the anime to suggest that there is a shared drop zone.
Yeah.
There is nothing that would even think would benefit too much from having a shared drop zone.
Yeah.
There
how
are
All
much
it
few.
would.
how much do you think will the team benefit from having no deck limit?
Um.
Well, there's no deck
Because
limit.
as Bushiroad has already confirmed, that means if you deck out, then you lose the game.
Yeah.
So the deck limit is an issue. Because means
Well,
if one team has more deck,
buddyfight doesn't have a deck limit in the. It
no,
has
it
a.
does. Yeah, that's the thing.
It does not have a maximum size.
Well, again, if one player decks out, then that person will count as hitting 0 and everything goes to their partner.
Yes.
Yeah.
That would
Yeah,
probably
but
be.
means they would. Yeah.
Hmm?
That's the thing. Means if they do they combine combine the deck limit, or that's the thing. Means and so they've not really said anything, and they're like, just do it yourself.
Mm.
Yeah, I think the decks are separate because Anya's and Tetsuya's decks were separate.
Yeah, it's definitely the case of in the case of decks, each player has their own deck, and they
Yeah.
kind of stick with that. And the decks have to fit their own condition limits as per flag, minimum deck size, etc.
Yeah.
But the thing is, means okay, with what was the main thing in Zanya versus Zanya and Tessia fight was means the impact which was set uh, needed an item from Zanya's deck. Now, as far as we know, the set spell is shared, but not the deck is shared. If the deck is not shared, then how can you use Zanya's item?
Uh, hmm. Let me go back on that. It might be the case of all the cards when a player dies kind of just stay on the field but can't do anything. That would be weird.
Wait, what do you talk? Wait, what card did he need an item for?
Yeah, what card would he need an item for? He only
You
needs
know,
to be.
remember the set spell, the impact one.
The impact doesn't.
When he
No, the impact doesn't need an item.
Yeah.
no, he remember he gave Zanya gave him Murasama,
No, no,
his sword.
no. He gave Zanya his core
Yeah,
deck
he needs
keys.
the impact, and the impact already has the cards set under it.
Yeah.
Ah,
Azure Cast.
I
Yeah.
thought he,
No,
I thought
he
he
just
gave
he just gave
yeah.
Tetsuya his core gadget, so it looked like the artwork of Azure Cascade Formation.
Ah, right, yeah.
Ah,
Yeah.
Like he still had to perform the sword action, so that was kind of a visual effect rather than his actual deck being
yeah.
given to him.
Ah,
Yeah.
that's the
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
That weapon he was using was literally just his core deck case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, set cards were, what else is there? Case on who acts when a player dies. That part is a little confusing. Because
Yeah.
some people have been taking it of it's more like the player is skipped rather than it's their turn transferred to their teammate kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, they're just skipped.
That part has been because that part is not clearly shown in the anime because a player dies by the time it's worth doing that. The anime isn't clear on this. I'm willing to go with the idea that like the dead player's turn team goes to their teammate turn-wise, because otherwise that's two players beating on one at one point. And that feels a little bit like it's handicapping the player who is already handicapped by having one less player.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think that's why they transfer the gauge and say is because even if handicapped, you still have at least a 0.5 of a player even if you only have one turn.
Yeah,
Hmm.
it's just it just feels a little weird for me, especially since I'm so used to other multiplayer formats where it would just transfer the team player over.
And the thing is, okay, you get the gauge from other player, means like Tessia got Zania's. So where does the card from those gauge go? Do they go into Zania's drop or do they go to your drop? Because means that's mixing of world cards.
I
Uh,
think I think they would go to your drop if you pay them, and then you just give them back to your opponent, like your partner, at the end of the fight.
because that's confusing when it comes to like drop zone and stuff, because the drop zone does matter in some cases, which is why some people
Yeah.
think the drop zone is shared, which is
Like
fair enough on that point, in which
Yeah,
you just have to send the gauge from that player's to their own drop zone because it doesn't matter, the drop zone is a shared component. But
yeah,
that part is a little confusing, yes. Um, this is the sort of thing that would need to be tested, organized, and all that jazz. Because it would not work on an online sim like at all.
yeah.
like
No.
that, then there's like one more like means in Star Dragon World that drop zone will matter, means where you want to put dragon arms from drop. Then there's other one with the Dragon Knight which gets critical when when there's 6 cards in the soul from the drop. Or then there's the deep item which needs 13 deep cards from the means when it's attacked you just drop three cards from the soul.
Hmm.
So
It's working out how much is shared between the players more than anything, and it's a little
Yeah.
confusing. Because the main example I got was Dragon Knight players just having 2 Dragon Knight players, and all those Dragon Knights that require having Dragon Knights in the drop zone kind of just
Hmm.
get super powered at that point.
yeah.
Hmm.
Because there's no source of Dragon Knights in the drop zone if the drop zone is shared.
Yeah.
So it's a little difficult working that out.
Hmm.
Um, so that's on the main format. Uh, here's a thought. Like, uh, did any of you try out a tag team format before this official thing came out?
Yeah.
Because I sure did.
I did it twice before the episode.
Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay,
What
so what are
format
your thoughts, Connor?
for discussion's sake?
Again, the only difference that mine had was just it played more like two-headed giant. That was the only difference.
So shared turn and shared life?
Not shared turn, but shared life.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shared
So you
turns
tried both the
game.
so you tried both 15 life and 20 life, if I'm right?
We did 20 life.
Ah,
Yeah, I tried the 20 life as well. It ended up just being like a really weird thing of being such a fantastic life resource for all those life costing cards, but
Yeah.
it also made life break terrible.
hmm.
Like I was playing Danger World and my ace cards would just not go to soul unless I used an outside source. Now
Hmm.
my deck doesn't use the ace ability in the first place in general, so I
Hmm.
didn't have much of a problem with that. But if I needed to send something to soul from field, it was a little difficult.
Oh yeah, no, I was just like so much life I can pay. Jack, 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 Jack.
Oh yeah, Jack Knight Thunderstorm. You just play that down. Your opponent is now no field monster wise.
No, it wasn't even Jackknife Thunderstorm. It was just Jackknife Emperor.
That too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Means with shared life, the shared life with the issue is being the ancient world's life link, and the issue being means if one player is as a dragon iron and they have 12 life and the other is just 10, so that time also it just complicates the thing that because means the life.
Hmm.
I didn't think of Dragonine. Does that change his life totals? That's a little confusing.
Uh,
Yeah.
well, yeah, well, yeah, well, that's why I think you would have two separate lives, is because the Dragonine player would have 12 life with 4 cards in hand, and the non-Dragonine
Yeah.
player has the normal setup.
I do find it funny how
Yeah,
it's one flag ruins this entire format idea.
yeah,
Oh,
It's
so
like,
so it has
oh,
so
your
ha
life is set to something else. That breaks the game. So it's either you have less life, or you gain +2 life off your 22, or you just ignore it. And all three are
yeah.
terrible.
That's the thing.
no.
Being meaning in Dragon Iron, I do feel it a bit bad when that kind of stuff happens to me.
That is something to note. However, life is still a rather good resource if if you've got like 2 players, because that while they are separate life totals, you still effectively have double the amount of life you would usually have between
Yeah,
you and your teammates. So life
Yeah.
costs are still less hefty, not as much as if it was a combined life total,
Hmm.
but more so than just a regular game.
Yeah. Also, when I was testing it, the only one thing I had different was how you just attack the person in front of you.
Yeah, that was another thing that was a
Yeah.
common thing pre this format.
Yeah.
Uh, and on the terms of like Sega's lifelink lose,
Yeah.
even if you had that share life, really, if you're playing that card and you are not less than 5 life, you are kind of an idiot anyway.
Mhm.
That is a last resort card, or you either play it when you're going to win with it 100% or at least 95%, or you are playing it when it's like a last resort. Otherwise, you are not playing that card correctly.
yeah. Just play it when just if you draw the card, then just make sure the situation is right. If not, then just put it into gauge and just draw another card.
Yeah. You just do it for 9 more damage when you kill your own Spartan with the 100 demon spell.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah,
That's a good one as well.
and it was simple things like that that I was kind of getting annoyed by people complaining about. It's mostly just Dragon Eye play. Oh yeah, that breaks everything.
So besides the whole life thing, what else does Dragonine break for this format?
I
Wha-
can't even work it out. I haven't really looked too much into the strategy of like all these card combinations and stuff that would be eventually broken. Though Dragonine with Dragon Throne does make if you like a suicide bomber, like suicide Dragonine kind of thing,
Yeah.
that would actually be a legitimate strategy. Just going out of your way to kill yourself so you can give your teammate four slots.
Well, yeah. Well, no, because because of how we're playing with if sets shared or before and just transferred when someone dies, both players have that 4 limit immediately when
yeah,
Yeah,
throwing
if
sets.
that's the case, then yes, just playing Dragonine normally, and then your teammate can build your deck around playing Dragonine while not actually being Dragonine.
I know it's like 100 demons. Here you
yeah,
go. You have double Cocytus.
However, if sets are only shared after death,
Yeah.
then you kind of got a new Dragonine deck to build of suicide life bombing. And
Hmm.
like as I said, yeah. Means, as I said before, that time I said the one strategy was like Dragon Iron with 100 demons against dragon players. Just use 6 guillotine on the field and 6 damage. Woof.
Wait. What's the card?
It's guillotine. It's a if a player plays a dragon monster or spell, they get 1 damage. Thunder Mine.
oh, that thing.
So it will be 6 damage whoop because it's a dragon attribute card. So dragon iron can play it and it's 100 demons. So 100 demon can also play it, and it will be 6 on the field.
It's so
Yeah.
interesting seeing how many cards just are pointless in this format, but also so many cards that were pointless in single player that now just become
I know. Magician Drum finally has a home.
yeah, like Magician
Yeah,
Drum in just general. Like
yeah,
even if the gauge only transfers when you die, that's still you can set up for a lot of gauge for just one finisher. Again,
yeah,
Suicide Bomber.
I know.
and also gotcha as well. Like yeah, I can just take all the gauges from everyone.
I do like the idea of your entire idea of your deck is to kill yourself. That's an interesting idea. I should actually try making that a format of the reverse kill format. That might be interesting, but either way. Anything else we need to discuss other than broken card combos? Or just
What
broken cards in general.
What do you think about the impact monster stuff?
I like them.
Impact monsters. Like the idea of attacking during your impact phase, I do like.
Hmm.
Because that has some interesting implications of
But you can
effectively
only use but you can only use one impact monster in one turn.
Yeah.
yeah.
I like them. I like the impact monsters more than the impacts we've been having.
Yeah,
Yeah, it does make the impact idea more useful.
yeah.
Um,
And means, what do you think about Gao going for Battle Dragon rather than staying with Drum?
I mean, it means something's off because Gao would never just willingly get rid of broken armor dragons.
we're just getting rid of drum in the first place.
Yeah.
Like, okay, Gal has given up on armor dragons a few times technically.
Yes.
But he's never given up on his idea of his deck and drum and all that jazz.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So having a new buddy is a little weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. Practically, this will make him having his third buddy, if I'm right, Drum, Asia, and then Battle Dragon.
Hmm.
Then
So,
the new guy having the Darkness Dragon World. So the DDD, Darkness, Dragon, and Danger.
Hmm.
probably something we do have to talk about is redirect cards.
I mean,
Oh, the one which oh, there was one card which was the size one who's really pissing me off. Yeah, yeah. I remember with the cards which just means when played counter and played and did the target is attacked did it did to that card, that kind of cards, isn't it?
that card just redirects you, that whole. You just call it to your field, and it redirects any attack to itself.
So practically, if even if it's to attack partner, it will be redirected to you.
Yeah.
And
That's the
then there's
thing.
the case of Demon Girdle and all the Raging Spirit. Well, not all the Raging Spirits, but most of them.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Wait, someone came up with an interesting solution. It's wait, the turn player's redirect happens first, but then it gets redirected again to the non-turn player.
Hmm.
And that
It go.
of
Yeah. It'll go turn player priorities redirect
Yeah.
first, and
Yeah.
then any redirect.
Hmm.
Now that will get confusing for the casual player and cause a few problems if they don't understand what the hell is going on. But in
Hmm.
terms of the in-depth rules, that's pretty
Hmm.
simple compared to
Yeah.
what has been happening
Hmm.
Yeah.
over everything else of this really weird format.
Hmm.
Now, I do want to address something. Okay, so if you guys have played Magic the Gathering, if you notice that during a multiplayer format, if it says if an opponent, if you go to an opponent and it says your opponent loses, for example, your opponent loses 1 life and you gain +1 life.
Yeah.
If there
Yeah.
are more than one opponent, or in the case of Two-Headed Giant, there are 2 players as one opponent, then it would double. It would give 1 damage to each opponent. In the case of
Yeah.
Two-Headed Giant, that means your opponent loses 2 life and you gain 1 life.
Hmm.
In the case
Yeah.
of cards like Cox's Greed and Buddyfight, though, it says when this card enters the field, put a card from your opponent's gauge into his or her drop zone. and put the top card of the deck into into your gauge. In the case of that, I'm pretty sure, because of how the card is worded, you only get to choose one opponent and put one card from that gauge into the drop zone. Not like Magic where you both. And I think
just one.
Yeah, just one.
Yeah, because you technically target a gauge.
Yep.
So that is something I wanted to point out, just for like people who are watching this but don't understand how this format works. What else would there be? Counter timings. Right, counter timings. This is the fun stuff. So out of understanding, especially from the episode, effectively each team has 2 counter timings at any one time.
Yes.
Yes. But even though 2 counter timings is just one each player.
Yeah. But so we can finally spell nulls.
Yes.
Yeah. Magic World will be like, hooray! Now there's way now my spells can go somewhere.
I can finally use Abracadabra.
Yeah.
So all the funny stuff. Oh my god, Danger World's spell null is actually good. In a way. There's a few fun things you can do with that.
Yeah.
So yeah, the idea of a push for damage spell null deck might be in play here. Another thing I would like to point out is shields. In the case of if you are getting attacked kind of cards. Because there are 2 kinds of spell nulls effectively. One is when you are attacked, and one is during an attack on your opponent's turn.
Yeah.
In the case of you getting attacked, I'm pretty sure it only applies if you as your player are being attacked, not your teammate.
Yes.
Yes.
While during an attack means you can just do it for your teammate as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is probably important to note for combat, because I'm pretty sure the difference is mostly shown in between the open center and closed center link attacks spell nulls, which are the 2 most common types.
And then, what do you think about the invigorating breath being an issue when 2 Danger World players are playing? Because it does not specify you yourself, if I'm right.
Sorry, go over that again.
Invigorating breath, which gives 4 life, 4 minus the number of invigorating breath in the drop zone stuff. It just says that you gain 4 life minus 1 for each of the invigorating breath in the drop zone. So if so, it does not really say.
Comes down to comes down to whether the drop zone is shared or not, which might have to be a thing that's debated per like situational tournament or whatever until eventually it's come together as an agreement, or bushiroad comes in and says it's shared.
Because if it is shared, then you end up getting minus 4 life. If both players are playing 4.
I'm pretty sure negative life is set to 0 for this game.
Yeah, there's no negative value in this game.
Yeah. You can lose life, but you can't negative life. So it would just be set to 0, technically. But it would, in math-wise, be negative, and that's funny. But it does nothing to the game. But in the case of, I don't think you would even run that card if your teammate was anyway.
Yeah. No. It's not. It's like some people. Yeah.
Or just like you don't play Invigorating Breath in single player. You don't play it in multiplayer.
Actually, that game full life card is still actually used in single player.
Well, no, but the game for life I see people playing is Resurrection instead.
People switch between the 2 depending on the needs of the deck, especially with that new this item can't be destroyed by card effects item. Because
Yeah.
that thing is stupid.
Yeah.
I need to get some copies of that card. That card is really, really good. See, life lowers. The damage reduced cards.
Yeah.
Namely in the form of White
Yeah.
Dragon Shield clones.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure they would only apply to yourself, even though you can use them during an attack on against your teammate or during your teammate's turn or something like that.
Yeah, it's only damage to you.
Target players. But basically, the idea
Yeah.
is if it says you or if it targets a player, then you've got to take that into account.
Mm-hmm.
AKA,
Yeah.
read the fucking card.
Yeah.
What
Like most of
about
the people
a
means
card?
just
What about a card like Dragonic Gachi Fight?
Wait, what?
Yeah.
I don't think I know this one.
It's Life Break 5 if both players have 2 cards or less, and then both players discard their hand and draw 4.
Wait,
if
which
I'm
card is this
if
for?
that's
Dragonic Gachi Fight.
Gachi?
Gachi, yes.
I'm trying to look that up on the wiki. It's not really coming. Oh, Dragonic Fierce Fight might be what it's translated to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You may only cast this card if you have less. If your life is 5 or less, and both you and your opponent have 2 or less cards in hand. Both players discard their entire hand and draw 4 cards.
Mm-hmm.
Can I just say this card is bad? But
Yes.
I think you have to. Let's see. Both you and your opponent, both players discard. Huh. Okay, so this situation will almost never come up because this card is terrible unless someone's trying to test something, but I'm pretty sure you have to target an opponent.
Okay.
no, not really. Since it says both players, that means if we go by Vanguard Tag Team rules of bushiroad, then both players means all players.
Okay.
But then it doesn't
And
target your teammate, which is a little weird.
no, it does target the teammate. It targets
Well,
all 4 of
it
them.
only
So
says
that
both you and your opponent, and you means you, while your opponent
yeah.
could mean.
Does it say you and your opponent, or does it say both players?
You may only cast this card
No.
if your life is 5 or less, and both you and your opponent have 2 or
Oh,
less cards in
then
hand.
uh, if it says both, then it's all players. Yeah,
So in
it's
this
just
case,
says
it
you
would
and your
be
opponent.
your
No,
opponent.
no. So what happens is just you choose an opponent. If you and both of you have 2 cards in hand or less, then all players discard
Yeah.
their hands and draw 4.
Well, it says both players, so that gets a little weird.
Well, both
Yeah.
is all.
Hmm.
So
In
just 2
tag cards,
players.
both is all.
If you can meet the conditions with one opponent, it kind of affects all 4 players.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little weird, but okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's a weird card.
If I
And-
play
this is-
Dragon World,
and-
Mate, I might actually be considered this actually somewhat okay.
yeah,
in
and,
tag.
and
You've got to
and this
for it.
ends up being a good card if your partner is a Dark Hero user or a Catastrophic World or Sixth Omni Lord Star Dragon World user, because means their hand will be depleted.
yeah. And I play one of this in a Dragon World tag fight deck just because if you get it and you can meet that situation, then besides giving your opponent gauge and your sets, then you're also giving them at least a fresh hand.
Yeah, this is the Judge of buddyfight. Judge being the card from Pokemon TCG, where both you and your opponent shuffle your entire hand back into your deck, and then you both draw 4 cards.
Yeah.
That's pretty much the exact case here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The problem is your opponent has to have less cards than 4, and that means you're effectively benefiting them, and that's not the point of Judge. It's meant to
No, less
possibly
cards.
help you while screwing over your opponent.
Two or less cards. The opponent should have just 2 cards.
Yeah, so while it may ruin your opponent's teammate,
But it will also ruin
which
your
is
teammate as well.
possibly a benefit, it is still helping one opponent. However, you also get to
But
help
it
your
will also-
teammate, so this card might be good in tag team. It's a little weird.
But it might also ruin your own teammate as well, because all players
It
will
could also
have to
possibly
discuss
harm your own teammate. But if you're gonna be harming your own teammate
Yeah.
for the sake of screwing over your opponent, I don't think your teamwork is optimal, or you must really have a plan going.
I mean,
Yeah.
like in my thought process, it's like this game's kind of fast. So it's like the situation where if you ever actually played this, then every time I see your partner buffing at the same time.
I would love this card with if your teammate was playing a see your opponent's hand deck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that would be beautiful. Just all the teamwork going of screw over your opponent from discarding like their last 2 nulls in their entire deck or something like that, and then making them draw 4 cards, so now they're completely open.
Yeah.
So this card has uses. I want to see this used, but man, is it's a ruling horror. I feel sorry for all the judges who will eventually have to judge this.
Another card that might be a little overpowered in tag fights will be Armor Knight Trent.
Well, that might. Yes and no, maybe. I have no idea, because there's probably going to be a lot more interesting destruction things you can do in this format, especially with the shared gauge, if that's the case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, the main weakness of Trent is destruction.
Mm-hmm.
But it's funny enough time destruction. If you are destroying upon an attack,
Mm-hmm.
he's actually really good, because your opponent normally has to try and link over or do something to it. This is normally the case with Desmode too.
Mm-hmm.
So you're cancelling out attacks while still destroying Trent, but it gets a little confusing. So yeah, the one time my Trent deck won against Destruction deck, it was Desmode really annoying my opponent and stuff.
How do you think will the Dungeon World's link attack affect the game?
The Dungeon World link attack? The main issue with set spells, that gets a little weird. I'm less worried about the link attacking stuff, because it's still just during your turn. I'm more worried about all the former parties and stuff.
Yeah.
Especially if your teammate is running it.
Yeah.
Because you might be able to form a party off a former party from your teammate, in which then there's 8 former parties in the game.
Yeah.
That can all trigger themselves. That's scary.
Yeah. Think about this kind of matchup.
Scary.
Wait. Blake, you are thinking about 8. I'm thinking about 16. Dungeon and dungeon versus dungeon and dungeon.
Wait, what? What?
They don't trigger off the opponents, I don't think, but that's still like 16 in the game, and 8 each could just proc each other.
Yeah.
Oh my god, the searching! Oh.
They're all. Is everyone? Is this like the most lamest? Did everyone just start playing the same MMO at the same day? Because everyone's forming a
It's
party.
like everyone's playing the same MMO. Everyone's playing the same class.
Everyone just trying to form a party.
It's a Korean MMO where everyone's the same class because there's an overpowered class.
I feel like at this point, like, we should make a stronger form a party called Form a Guild.
Oh, but you need to set 2 set spells.
Yeah. Yeah, but
What do you think about the? What do you think about the surprise Pandora?
Surprise Pandora.
Surprise Pandora. Oh god, rock paper scissors. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, let's have a look here. Big surprise Pandora. When this monster is destroyed, play rock, paper, scissors with your opponent only once. Deal 1 damage to the player who does not win. Oh god, this is a ruling nightmare!
So okay,
Ew.
I think I got this. I think I got this. You play rock paper scissors with the opponent that destroyed the Pandora.
According to these rulings, I think you play rock paper scissors with both of your opponents,
Wait,
but
what?
you only play once. So you rock paper scissors and you say scissors, but then this would also come into the teammates and all that jazz, or you can play it one at a time. But
Well,
it's rock paper scissors, and then whoever loses takes 1 damage. You have you can have the possibility of losing 2 life. This ends up turning into I'm trying to remember that
Two-headed
game
giant.
theory concept.
uh,
Because if you play it with your opponent at the same time, with both of your opponents at the same time, your opponents have 2 options effectively. They can either go separately, in which one of them will either draw, which if it's a draw, both players dealt 1 damage, or they lose, in which they take 1 damage, while the other has a higher possibility of winning.
that's
So-
just. Oh, and Purgatory Block is even worse.
Which card?
Purgatory Block.
Oh god, what's this? I mean, I'm gonna keep this card up because this will end up being an amazing discussion. But Purgatory what? Purgatory Block?
Yeah.
Yeah, here, let's have a look.
When this card attacks
Oh, this thing.
and deals damage to your opponents, put this card in your drop zone. If you do play rock paper scissors with your opponent, deal 2 damage to the fighter who loses.
Okay, so this is almost the same case, and more so on the idea that you have to target both opponents because this is the sort of thing where there's less of a target. There is a target, it's attacking your opponent, but like these cards are ruling nightmares.
Dungeon World, why do you exist?
I want someone to just play this just so they can give their judge a hard time. But wow.
What are other?
We
Because
need someone who's a
because if you're on 2 life each, then and you draw, then you both end up taking two damage, and the game ends up in draw. Then does draw exist in tag fight as well?
Well, okay. Let's have a look. See. Yeah, because they would happen at the same time. But
Yeah.
then again, if you have 2 opponents and you die, well, then you have it wouldn't be a draw because there'd still be 1 player alive. In the case of big surprise Pandora, you only get 1 rock paper scissors, and the possibility of dealing 1 damage to both players is still a thing. So in a way, you can have a 3-way tie. That gets a little weird. Yeah. At that point, I would what would happen in draws in a tag team format can get a bit more interesting. You can have like a sudden death match between 2 of them.
Armor Knight Lethal Drake, I think, actually becomes a pretty powerful in a tag fight.
Soul thing that if it counts.
No,
Soul thing.
not Black Drake Ace, Lethal Drake, the one that when it attacks, you increase its critical by the sum of the critical of your item and your opponent's item.
Oh.
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
This card attacks from this battle. Yeah.
Mhm.
I still would put that in the sideboard, but man, that's a good sideboard.
Especially if in the tag fight one of the 2 opponents is playing Cradle.
Oh god, no.
Oh god, no.
General.
What?
Really stupid.
Yeah. What?
It's just what? How high can this go in general? Just going off the idea that your opponent has 2 3 crits, you have a 3 crit. How much is that? That's 9 crit.
Mhm.
Now, if you're playing this, you're probably playing Cradle.
Mhm.
Average of that is 4 to 7 crit.
Mhm. So about 10 to 14.
It depends, isn't it?
Just done
If
for
your
one
opponent
hit.
is,
Yeah.
but it depends, isn't it? If your opponent is playing, is also playing the soul thing in Danger World, then which can go to 10 criticals.
Mhm. Yeah, that's what we're talking about
Then
is Cradle.
yeah, and if another person is playing Kaiser Leon, which has more than 4 souls, and it will get criticals.
Yeah.
Uh, and then there's Star Dragon World, which will gain criticals.
So again, you can't use your teammate to help Weasel Drake out too much, but
Yeah. You have two opponents.
unless there was a card that allowed you to power up your opponent's weapon critical, and then I'm not sure if that doesn't exist.
Well,
It should.
your opponent could somehow, for some reason, be playing one to one.
I mean, an interesting way you can help is by playing what's that creature, Null?
Mock Braver?
No, the card that you can play in response to your opponent's call, and it nullifies the call.
Oh,
It's a Magic World card.
I thought that was a spell.
It's a Magic World spell, but it cancels out calls.
Oh, yeah, it's where's it? Be gone.
Yeah, you can use that for things like the. Now I'm trying to remember. Uh, damn it. Um, that Naga, Ammonite Naga, which lowers a weapon's power and critical.
What do you think about
All of that to
the
cancel out that ability.
Oh yeah.
yeah? What do you think about the Ultimate Neo Dragon Drum the Future?
From the future.
Yeah. I mean, not bad.
Let's see. Ultimate Neo Dragon Drum the future. When this card link attacks with you, if you have 5
No.
life or less.
No, we're talking about. Are you talking about the Star Dragon World one or the Dragon World one?
The Dragon World one.
Okay.
If you do, the attack cannot be nullified and the damage cannot be reduced. 5 life or less. That just works like usual.
Mhm.
Yeah, but it looks like usual, but means but when you play it with with a heavy critical based item like
Mhm.
in Dragon Knight and all those stuff, then it becomes a lethal stuff because if the life is not shared.
Yeah.
I don't know how anyone has tried this, but to drum the futures at the same time, because you can do that in Dragon Knight in just general.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, the fan I like now is to I want like main one of these. So when I have a 3 to 5 crit Drago General, I can just link with this for an 8 crit attack that can't be nulled.
Yes. So you see, means it can just end up really just taking all the life of the opponent. It just uh, by the time you play this, that time you already removed at least 2 life of them. And since they cannot nullify, so it's just completely on the spot death. And in tag team format, that's good because you cannot nullify, so both the tag team partners cannot really nullify it. So you just get like 1 turn. Your partner just gets 1 turn to really destroy them before they can destroy you.
Mhm.
And then there are some decks which also get do 10 damage in just the first go. So that's going to be also an issue.
Yeah. I feel like Burn Nova is a staple for every player.
Yeah, like I don't like Burn Nova for regular games in general because I normally like to have my decks really tight on gauge. But in
Yeah.
the case of tag team duels, because your gauge can also transfer to your teammate,
hmm
the idea of having a lot of gauge is suddenly like a lot more interesting
Yeah.
because you can do more
Yes.
things with all that gauge.
hmm
Instead
Yeah.
of having useless cards in your hand, you can do one combo or something like that in a single player match.
Yeah.
So the idea of Burn Nova ends up just being really interesting.
Yeah. But Nova still becomes a last resort because it can only activate when you have reached 0 life.
Yeah.
Mm.
So you cannot really use it that way till both the team have mates have gone to 0 life.
Now, in the case of using it when you yourself have reached 0 life against two opponents,
Yeah,
and
that's the thing.
and again, this is on the case of not transferring your partner's turn to yourself. It's in the case of your opponents now get two attacks on you before you can act.
Yeah.
Using the burn over, he only becomes a little less useful because he doesn't have that immunity for both turns.
And
Yeah.
it's not only two attacks. Practically, if you're forgetting, that means if two of your players, if your both opponents are Magic World and both have played Grandfather's Clock, then you are screwed.
Oh yeah, grandfather's clock. That just gets stupid in this.
hmm
Get an extra turn, and then when that turn's over, your teammate gets a turn, and then they can get an extra turn. This is why I don't like. I like the idea of having just each world being different for team members.
Then there's also Clock as well. If you're forgetting.
Rag. Ugh.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's so much more balanced if all teammates are playing separate flags. But then that to me ruins its fun.
In the terms of each team member having a separate flag, that's interesting. If all the players had separate flag, that gets a little weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because then you're restricting your opponents as well,
Yeah.
and that's a little silly.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
And there's not that many world as well.
In terms of giving restriction to your teammates, it again depends on if you're sharing the drop zone, which we have no idea about.
Yeah.
If you're sharing a drop zone, I don't think that the two players should be allowed to use the same deck.
I think there's three things that people can do, and it's up to per situation. You can either share a drop and have the same flag, don't share a drop, have the same flag, or have the same flag. Share the drop, but don't share the flag.
Mm.
But then people will just take for share drop and share flag because means they can just play Dragon Knights and all those stuff and just abuse the drop.
Well, yeah. Again, I'm just like again at the end of the day, these tag fight stuff is going to be house rules. It's going to be having compromises if you're playing against randoms, or if you're playing with friends, you'll both come up with the compromise, a
Yeah.
good set of rules.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was hoping for 4 people to join the stream so we could test out a tag team battle, but
Mhm.
we not.
That was going to be hard for me since I don't have any deck with me.
Well, it would be through a simulator.
We would
so,
do it through area.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's fine.
but we don't have 4 people, so that's a little annoying.
I know.
And since we
Yeah.
since we don't have a live chat, we can't ask the chat either. So that's even more annoying.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, the most we can do is ask Facebook, and yeah, that comes up with other issues.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Since nobody was answering it in the first place.
Mhm.
So, is there anything else we need to discuss over everything?
I think we're good for now. We can create like a separate post on the Facebook if someone actually wants to create a list of every broken card / combo that tag fights can do. Because I don't
And then we
pretend.
should create a ban list. Just to create
I
our
think
own
we
ban
also
list.
have to make.
Just no ban list, no ban list. Like we will
We're
Wild
gonna
West.
start off with no ban list. We're gonna
Yeah,
start off with no ban list, just to
yeah, no,
see how many stupid broken things pop out of this, and then we ban the most stupid broken stuff.
Ban or
no,
Come up with
no,
some rules
no,
that would restrict them.
no. See, I don't care how stupid it is. It doesn't get banned. Tag fights will be the Wild West of this game.
I mean, for tournaments, if you want to go with like free for all fun games, you go ahead. That
Yeah.
would be a
No.
beautiful mess.
No, again, that's one thing. Like, besides tag fights, I want to do Buddy Fight Commander, or not.
Yes.
We play
I want to
politics.
see the politics. I want to
Uh,
see the
but-
politics. Go on.
Buddy Fight Politics.
That should just be what the format is called. World politics.
Yeah, no. That's what it should be. It should. Like, I want to see a fight where every flag is represented by someone, and it's politics, and then there should be like political trade, and we see who.
It'd be like beautiful because it'd be like everyone doesn't want to start a war with someone else.
Yeah.
And it'd be so interesting seeing where the damage goes. Because it's like everyone's kind of their own nation at that point.
Yeah, no,
Yes.
it would be.
Everyone.
Than anything.
Yeah, if it's true to happen, there'd be 14 flags because you would have our worlds, and then we would have 100 demon, Ein, and 13 actually.
If I
Yeah,
ever
go
go,
on.
I
Yeah.
want to be at a time where either the buddy challenge is happening or the world qualifier is happening, or even just worlds in itself. And I go there, and I just want to set up as many people as possible to get this thing happening.
Yeah, no. If I get into a judge position when it comes to like Springfest or anything, when the free fight happens, I'm just gonna be like, try to see if I can gather some people. Be like, anyone want to play politics?
Yeah, Connor. If that happens, then everyone will be like, here, I appoint him as a negotiator and him as my strategist. Now, just you deal with them. I'm just out of it.
But that would be a beautiful, beautiful game that I want to see happen one day.
No. So what? No, this is how the game politics will go down. 99% of the time. Every nation first kills the Dragon World player.
Then
Like,
the
just
100 player, and then the Dragonine player, or like in some combination of those three.
No, like 100 Demon Dragon, they might not get killed. But no, first the Dragon World player is going to get murdered. Then the Magic World player is going to sound like the most democratic person ever and be like, my spells go to everyone. Don't.
No, wait, no. There is one. If anyone is playing either Fairies or Star in Legend World, they will die first.
Why fairies?
Because Oberon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Oberon and the Starfall, nobody
Yeah.
will want that down because they will effectively be
Hmm.
they will basically be the Hitler of the game.
Yeah, and that's a Hitler right there.
It's like, well, we gotta kill Hitler, so
I know.
And everyone
that,
is
that will go first. Then we develop into everything.
and the Legend World players will be like, here's my trump card, Ragnarok. Yeah, everyone is destroyed.
If
War is
everyone
ended.
if everyone ignores the Legend World player and they suddenly go Starfall, everyone wants to target that player, but they just can't.
Oh, same with Demon Lord. The Demon Lord player dies as quickly as well. Because no one wants to get World End.
Yeah, like anything that just says you win the game will die, or anything that just cancels out the abilities of others.
No,
which
no.
might just have to ban the Exodia cards.
Yeah.
No, World End doesn't win you the game. No, World End is just when
Oh yeah, that
the one that's it would set everyone's life to 1 and nuke all their fields.
I want this to be such a well thought out and perfect format for this one game that will happen, that will cement itself in history as the best buddy fight match ever.
Hmm.
But for that, we will need 14 players.
Perfectly planned thing that just goes into a total and utter mess.
Yeah.
No, it would be 13 players, not 14.
Oh yeah, 13. Yeah, but who will play Genesis world?
No. Okay, with that now, I want to do Politic Card Fight Vanguard now. I really want to do that now.
Checkmate.
Because that's an
Oh.
actual nation, so that would be fucking hilarious. Like, okay, $5, who dies
I mean,
first?
there's less nations than there are clans, so that gets a little weird. But yeah.
Oh, if we did all clans, that would be like the greatest thing ever.
Oh yeah, and then we just have like this weird case where all the people who happen to have clans that match their nations start teaming up.
Yeah, no, see, that would be great. Like, I'm posting this on the NA group and Vanguard group. Buddyfight Card Fight Politics.
Oh, and put this in the multiplayer group for sure.
Yeah, but this will
And
because
yeah,
that need.
and Genesis will be like, means, oh, you were all busy in the vault. Until that, I was just, you just came in my trap. Checkmate. I win the game.
Okay, when it comes to Vanguard politics, okay, $5, who dies first? Royal Paladins, Shadow Paladins, Aquaforce, or Kagero?
Aquaforce.
Link Joker.
Well, why would Link Joker die? No, it would be one of the four.
Especially when there's multiple turns.
I mean,
Not really.
Nobody else can kill the locked cards. The person who is locked can't use the cards.
mhm.
Nobody
No,
gets a
Link
benefit
Joker.
from Link Joker
Blake.
locked anything, so
No,
they will
no,
die first.
no,
Blake,
but like Link Joker, all the controlled clans will all be like the peacekeepers. They will be the ones that be like, we can assert any threat and shut it down.
Okay, here's the thing with all the people who can just lock down the things. They will either become Hitler, or they will
Mhm.
become a democratic like president,
Yeah,
or they will become the police.
yeah.
and I prefer Hitler.
We don't know how this will work, but this is guesses, the well-educated guesses.
Yeah, like we're just like,
Mostly off
okay.
the, like, Magic the Gathering.
hmm When it comes to Magic the Gathering politics, blue dies first, no matter what. You can be Hitler or you can be the Democratic president. No matter what, everyone's killing you. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts
Because
about
there's
it.
no way of getting around them
Yeah.
once they set up.
Mhm.
It's just like, okay, we will control the board at the start, and then we will set up our giant bomb that will, our giant atomic bomb that will wipe everyone else off the
I know.
face of the earth, and we will be safe in our little bunker here.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah. Either blue is like North Korea, Hitler, or America. They're one of the three.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
No, it represents the greatest when your deck is a red, white, and blue mix. You're like
Yeah.
patriotism.
Yeah, few months ago when I was playing Magic and I was playing EDH, so that time my ruler was Jilava. Everyone was like, "Come on, time to kill you because you're playing Jilava." I and then I changed my ruler to Saxamander, and then I used True Name Nemesis on one of my friends, and in the next turn when my turn was going to come. That time I was going to kill the person next to me who was 102 life, and I had a Sysis which would deal him 102 damage and kill him, and that person said, "You used 2 damages on me. Time for you to die." And I was and he and I was just come on, I was just going to kill that person, and he was just
No, that's our thing. Buddyfight 8 EDH.
Yeah. Now, what I really want to come up with the idea is how the decks are going to be built. Because,
Well,
we could either put in the rule of Real Commander and only have one card per thing, but that ends up with a lot more issues than we might initially think.
Well, it's like you
Again,
have.
a well thought out format where it's just 100% perfect rules and everyone just throws them out the window with bullshit.
Yeah, it becomes pure politics where we're 4 hours into the game. Everyone has like 10 cards left in their decks, and still there's no damage on the board whatsoever because people every turn are just setting up and.
Like, I don't want to attack you!
Yeah.
Mutually assured destruction is almost certain.
Yeah.
what do you think if people play it this way? They just mix all the worlds and then they say my flag is Genesis because Genesis is just all worlds. So that means they will be so.
Yeah, no. I did my own custom flag. It was the Omni Lord flag, where just any Omni World flag could get used, and it just had to be more their associated spells and monsters. So it was like
but
That's
they're
just
just like
every single deck but 100 demons at this point.
What? Well, no, but no, it would more like you could only use like the servants, or archetypes of each of the Omnilords. You can only use like Fifth Omnis, the band pillars, raging spirits.
Like,
yeah, so yeah, but not that way. Means I think means all cards in the game are available to be mixed together.
Yeah, I
So
know.
that's
Yeah, and the only exception I had to that was like you could use all their spells. Like the spells were free use, so I had like so much draws.
like let's what did, yeah. Just a few months ago, I tried to make the maximum deck I can make in area, and I made a Dragon Iron deck with all single dragon card, which was available in buddyfight area. So guess how many cards?
is there a
How,
deck size in
deck load, Dragon Iron test,
Because there might
deck editor.
it might be, but it might be like less of a built-in thing and more of just an error. There were too many cards in this thing.
Mhm.
to work.
No, it went up to it included all the cards, and always for maximum 4 cards.
Okay.
So
Wait. Quick question. Can you have more than 4 cards in a deck of something? Because I need to know that. Because Buddy Fight now has a Rats card, and it's I've noticed that TCO doesn't have unlimited use of cards.
Oh, well, I know TC area you can have the unlimited amounts of shorteners.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Because I was trying to use TCO for the White deck
Mhm.
of unlimited Cube works.
Mhm.
But the problem was that the card that you could use as many copies of in your deck, you could only use 4 because that's what the simulator allowed.
Yeah. Okay.
It's really annoying.
Yeah. No, I had my because on area I have a 999 shortener deck.
Beautiful. And just
It
run
had-
4 Martial Fortress.
No, it's not Martial Fortress. It's the one
See,
jack.
yeah, 2214.
Let's have a look, see, because I'm not getting a proper look at it. Oh, are you trying to directly share Buddy Fight
Yeah.
area?
Yep.
No, it won't work. You have to use full screen share.
I just did that. Oh, I did that.
There we go.
Oh. Can you see it now?
Now it's gone on my end again. That's weird.
Okay.
Are you,
Give
Connor?
me a sec. No, I can't see it.
There we go.
Oh no, I see it now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
2214 cards in the whole deck, and that's all. That's just all the dragon cards at 4 max down.
God. I'm surprised there isn't a loading error.
No.
Too simple of a program to have a loading error? And it just depends on the computer? Like, I would see a low-end laptop running like XP to crash as soon as it loads that deck online.
I was trying to crash the program, and but just it was never crashed. I mean, this.
That's crazy. You know what probably makes it worse? There are probably like a good 20 people who can build that deck. Because they've just spent so much to get like 4 copies of every single card in the game.
Yeah.
Then there are probably people working on it.
In area, I think so. There's the one card which you were saying that it has already been said. That means you can max it out. Means no matter how many cards you want.
Oh, that's interesting.
That's sure. I think so. You were saying you're talking about short sneaker, if I'm right. The level 1. I don't really see it anywhere. Really good.
The commander go out pretty well. And then I just wanted to see it turn it into a spurring mess of political stupidity. I don't want to see it become like nobody's talking and they're just hitting each other. And eventually, like,
Yeah.
like, why would you hit me? Or something like that. But I want to see alliances. I want to see political bullshit go on. I want to see people betray each other. We might have to increase the life total to do that. I'm not sure.
Yeah, life total, yeah.
Oh,
But yeah.
I'd have to look into it. Is there anything else we need to speak on this live stream? Because otherwise,
Not really.
just do a private chat thing and go with like.
Yeah, we just turned it into private chat. Yeah, yeah. From
Seems
tag
like
team, we just went into.
enough or something.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, I think that's everything. Yeah, cool. So yeah, this has been Future Fighters Cast. Thanks for watching, people. Especially since this wasn't a live stream, so it's probably the only way you could have watched it is by video. So thank you for sticking around if you stuck around to this point. So yeah, we'll see you next time. I'm Giraton, and I am out.
See ya.